So on the router, some people will ask you what are the best configurations um, for optimal setup. So this is actually the recommended guidelines I'm giving you for you to enjoy your router or whichever router you have best. The first step is actually to position your router in your home or in your office, but it should be centered. So your router should be centered where it's accessible to all the corners of your house or your office. So that is actually one. Then make sure you should keep it high, either on a shelf. So you can actually keep your router on a shelf in your office or at your workplace, then on your home. Then make sure that you keep metal objects far from the router. So it's not actually advisable to keep your router close to any metal object or any other electronics that actually has frequency and or obstructions. So make sure that your router is actually elevated and kept. So those are the physical placement you have to do for your router. Then the initial connection will be doing is for you to set up your router. Make sure you use your internet cable or the patch cable that comes with it for connection. Or if it's not available, you can actually use a Wi-Fi to connect to the default network. So which will be doing that right away. You are connected to your router, you need to log in with your default login credentials, which is probably admin, or make sure you check the manual and to also be sure that it's actually the same with what I'm typing. So we'll type in admin and log in to our router. So we actually logged in. So for those that were asking the best recommended setup to do. So for us, which actually be to change your Wi-Fi password. So this is actually the first step to do. You come, you see it's low because admin is typed. So you come, you change your Wi-Fi password. You can maybe make it more stronger, um, something like this, and you copy it and paste over here. Paste over here. So you can actually change this or whichever one suits you. So for some password suggestion, you can actually Google strong password generator, and there are sites that like strong password generate password for you. So this is actually a good one. You can generate this kind of password for you. Just click generate some password for you. So you can use that to enter your. Then on that thing to change is actually your SSID name. You actually need to change your SSID name. This is another step you need to do. Then when you are done changing that, make sure your W key is actually on PK2. So you turn that, then you can use your password generator to generate SSID password, copy it over here, go here and paste. I can display it, paste the password, then apply. So this is actually how you're gonna do the basic configuration settings on your router. So when you're done applying, I'll actually be refreshing. So for me to log in, so this password is applied. If you can see here, it's applied, but I don't think our router own is applied there. So I'll just go and effect the changes we did. Whereby I can still use the same password, or you can actually use something that you would want to remember should in case you actually do some configuration. So I'll just apply these two and it applies. So I'll just save this over here for the Wi-Fi password. So this is actually for that. So when we are logged into the router, now the best settings you need to do for your connection is actually to leave it at automatic. So for you to make any of these modifications, you have to turn on our network connection, which is what we do here. Click here to disconnect our router from the internet going online. So we actually come over here. Connection mode should be always at automatic. So we should leave it at automatic. Then network connection type should also be automatic. Or if you actually want strong network, you can actually leave it at 4G only, but there's a downside to it. What if your network signal is not close to any 4G max or router? You may have issue, or during the rainy day, you may not be able to actually access the internet. So that's why we leave it at automatic. But if you are sure they are close to any max that actually a 4G signal max for MTN, you can actually leave it at 4G only. So I'll click that. Then we don't have any modifications to do here. That modification you need is actually Wi-Fi settings. here you actually need to enable your Wi-Fi switch so that you can actually connect from your router. You can access your network from here. Then actually it's advisable to enable a multi-SSID switch, which allows you to set up guest network for your clients, or apply then set up a guest network for your clients or your customers. If you have clients in the office, you can enable this. Let me enable it first. So I can come over here, guest network, and so come here, I can broadcast this. So all wireless client device is completely isolated. You can actually check this to isolate all of them, let them be different so that this person cannot be able to access. Maybe if two of your clients are using PCs, this one cannot be able to access the files on the other person. So you can actually turn this off. Then your password is this. You can use the password generator to copy the same password or generate a fresh password, copy it and paste over here. But since it's a guest password, we want to give them a password that is actually not that strong. So I can use something like this. So I can use this as a password for them. So I think so this is okay. So this is actually a password which is high. I can actually set this, then make sure that I don't actually want to overcloud my network, because the more people that are connected, the lower your download or your upload speed. So you may just want to leave it at 10 devices that are connected. So this is actually a basic setting for your guest router. Then for also your own router, you do the same thing too. You come over, we have done this, you can actually set this to 5 devices. So this is actually most recommended settings. Then your WPS, I will assume you leave it to, since you actually have a guest router, you don't need to set up your WPS for you. Then advanced settings, we need to leave this at the way it sits here. So these are actually the recommended settings for that. So these probably are the recommended settings. Then parental control, for those that have parents, yeah, so what they just need to do is you come here, you can set the time of the day. This is actually 24 hours from Sunday. You can set the time that, oh, these students should not be able to access the internet on so time. So anyone that is in red means that they are not allowed to browse. So with that, when you save it, now our data is not saved. That's why it's showing this. So when we are done checking, you can say, okay, at night they should not connect to the router on weekend. Okay, and maybe they may be watching Netflix from 6 to maybe 2 hours on Sunday. They should have access to it. So you can do this for your children, and when you're done, you just save it. So the settings is saved. So on Sunday, by this time, your children doesn't have access to the internet. So this is actually how you actually set your online time settings for your kids. Then you can come here to manage your kids' devices. So if now this is actually my connected devices already, I'm connected using internet port. So if you actually connect your child's router or network to this router, you can see the MAC address. What you just need to do is you come over here and click add. So when you click add, it's gonna show you this. So it's not added to the kids' devices. So I was logged out, so I cannot have access to that because I'm actually a kid device. So this is actually what, so just that you watch over here, we have added that as a key device. So if you go to the key devices, you see that Kinspire Tech is actually a key, one of the key. So these parental settings work for Kinspire Tech. So I'm actually under the key and I cannot change it unless I have to reset the router again. So I can't have access to modifying this. And so this is actually what you do. I just did that to show you guys where you can actually set parental control on your router for your kids. So then data coverage, it depends on if you actually using the office, and you could actually leave it in long wide range based on so you can be able to broadcast farther. So but if it's actually in your home, you can actually set it at medium. Then you don't need to turn this at awake. Then your router, you can leave this way. Yeah, MAC address, IP address. So you can actually set up this DHCP IP pool. So here is actually you limiting the number of IP address your system can assign to people that are connected to your router. Then it actually leases it after 24 hours. It actually lease. The lease is actually expired. Then here is actually where you can set your firewall. But there's just at basic, it's okay. But if you're actually going covering advanced features, then that is where you actually need to set up the firewall. But for now, this is okay. And update, this is actually update okay if you bought it new. So this is actually all the basic configuration settings you need to do on your router. And thanks for watching, and please like, share, drop a comment below, and whether questions or suggestions, and we'll actually look into it. Thanks for watching.